Once again, good afternoon, students. In this session, we will look into Module 4. In Module 4, we are going to look into PHP arrays and super globals arrays. We will look into what are arrays and super globals, dollar underscore get and dollar underscore post, super global arrays, underscore server array, dollar underscore files array, reading or reading and writing into files, PHP classes and objects, object oriented overview, classes and objects in PHP, how classes and objects are used in PHP, object oriented design, error handling, and validation. So we'll look into error handling and what kind of a validation we can do. And we'll look into what are errors and exceptions, PHP error reporting, PHP error and exception handling. Those are the things we are going to look. Today we will start with the PHP arrays. Okay. So as you know, already you know from your learned C programming, which supports the arrays, you know what is an array. So array is what? Array is a collection of similar objects. It is in case of C programming, and we have something for the structures in arrays. This array is implemented in PHP with a broader coverage. You can save it as, you can include objects, you can include strings, you include numbers. So you can have basically array of any type of object or a primitive data. An array is a data structure that collects number of related elements together in a single variable, allows the set to be iterated, okay, allows access of any element. So similar to the like what we have, array is a collection of elements of any type, and it will allow to iterate over those different elements, and we can access the any elements inside that particular array. Since PHP implements an array as a dynamic structure, add to the array or remove from the array. In PHP, arrays are created as a dynamic structure. Okay, so you can add anytime you want to the array, or you can remove from the array. Unlike in C programming, when you are declaring an array, you will specify the size of the array, right? What is the size you want to have? And if you want to remove any element, so you can just replace the value, but you cannot take out from the memory. It will be still utilizing the memory. In case of a PHP, it is a dynamic structure where its size can be dynamically varied. It can be increased or it can be decreased by using the add and remove operations. In PHP, array is actually ordered map, which is associated each value in the array with a key. So it is a map. It is implemented as an ordered map where we have the key and it is mapped to the value. So these keys can be in PHP provides the option, either you can have the key in this sequential order, or you can have in any order or any other type. Like if you want to have a string as the keys, that is also possible. So with the example of the number as the keys, it will have like a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the keys, and these keys are mapped to certain value. In this example, 0 is mapped to the value of MON. So if I say $days square bracket 0, it will map to Monday. It will get a value of Monday. Similarly, the key 1 is mapped to value Tuesday, TUE, and key 2 is mapped to WED. So on. So this is how the key and the value are mapped together. Array keys are the means by which you rear to single element in the array. In most programming languages, array keys are limited to integers, starts with a 0 and it goes up by one value. So most of the languages they implement with the integer index. Always the indices are used as the integers, and it will start from 0 and it will increment by 1. So the next element will be added with the value 1. That is how we get the next index value. In case of a PHP, array keys must be either integers or strings and need not be sequential. So in case of a PHP, you if you choose, you can have integers, and if you want to choose the strings as the keys, you can use the strings. And PHP doesn't force you to have the sequential order. In case of the other most of the languages, the arrays are array indices are sequential, like 0 1 2. It goes in the same order, right? In case of if you are using a string, there is no sequence as such, right? So PHP support both sequential as non-sequential arrays. Don't mix key types, that is strings versus one. So we should not mix the key types. Okay, if you want to have the string, you can have string. If you want to have the integers, you can, all the indices would be integers. You cannot have indices as both integers and strings. That is not possible. If you are creating an array with indices as strings, it will be all the index values will be strings only. If you are creating an array with the integers, all the values will be integers only. If you don't explicitly define them, they are 0 comma 1 comma so on. If you don't specify the keys, by default those are integers, and it will start from 0 and it will increment by a value of 1. Array values, unlike keys, are not restricted to integers and strings. Okay, similar to keys, even the values are not restricted to only integers or strings. You can have any value you want. They can be any object type or primitive supported in PHP. So as I told you, you can have the collection of objects, collection of different types, or collection of any primitive data types. You can even have objects of your own types, so long as the keys in the array are integers and the strings. So as long as the keys are integers or strings, you can have any kind of a object, even if it is of your type. You have created a user defined type, you can have that kind of objects as well. So this is the declaration, how arrays are declared in PHP. So we will not specify any data type. Okay, dollar days, this is the variable name for given for the array. Dollar days is equal to, this is the array. Okay, and with the empty brackets, what it will do is it will create an array. So you can also initialize it with a comma delimited list of values inside the parenthesis, inside the bracket, using either of the two uh, following syntaxes. So when you, in this particular statement, what it created is it created an empty array. So dollar days is an array, but it is empty. If you want to add any values, you can add values. That is how that array will get the values. If you already know the values at the time of the declaration, if you already know the values, then you can choose to define the arrays like this. The first option is dollar days is equal to, you will call the same method array. Inside the brackets, you will give the all the values separated by the comma. In this case, all are string values, which are days of a week, and they are separated by comma. So Monday, you are giving it as a string, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So when you create an array like this, the dollar days array will have 5 values, right? And it will be having an index, because you did not mention what are the keys. By default, it is going to be integers. So this Monday is will be having a key of 0. This will be having 1, 2, 3, and so on. The other alternate way is you can use the square brackets. Dollar days is equal to, inside the square brackets, you are giving the all the values. If you notice here, you did not specify any method here. Directly, whenever you give the square brackets, automatically it will understand it is a array, and all the elements which are separated by the comma will be the values of those array. If you see this particular declaration and this declaration, they are exactly the same. The outcome would be exactly the same. You can also declare each subsequent element in the array individually. So in the first case, what we did, we created an empty array. How to do that? $days is equal to array empty bracket semicolon. Once the empty array is created, you can keep on adding the values to that particular array. How to do that? You will specify the name of the arrays. Inside the square bracket, you will specify the index. Okay, 0 is equal to mon. That is the string you are going to assign for the key having a value of 0. Similarly, $days inside the square bracket 1. This is the next key is equal to Tuesday. Other alternate ways to do it, you will create the empty array. $days b is equal to array empty brackets semicolon. This will create an array, empty array, and this will be assigned, reference will be assigned to this. And when you want to add values, this is the other way. One way is doing this. Here if you see, uh, uh, the key is not specified, the square bracket is empty and is equal to Monday. By default, what will happen is it will whichever is the next available element. In this case, this array is empty, the next available key is 0. So at 0 key, it will assign a value of Monday. And when you say days b, the next subsequent empty location, that is 1. 1 will be the key, 1 will be assigned with the Tuesday. To access values in an array, you refer to their keys using the square bracket notation. So how to access the values? This is how, using the square brackets, you will. Suppose in this particular example, we are outputting the some text to the browser. Echo, this is the string, value at index 1 is, then dot is what? Concatenation. I am concatenating this text with this particular value, $days bracket square bracket 1. So whatever is the value that is present, which is mapped to the key 1, will be displayed. So let us say the value is 0 1, Monday Tuesday. So at key 1 we have Tuesday. Value at index 1 is TUE. That is what will be displayed on the browser. In PHP, you are also be able to explicitly define the keys in addition to the values. So similar to the defining the values, you can also specify the key. This allows you to use the keys other than the classic 0 to n, like 0 1 2 3 so on. You can define your own indices. For example, in most of the languages, when arrays are created, the only option that is given is the index has to be sequential, and it is starting from 0 1 2 3 and so on until the size of that particular array. In case of a PHP, you can also specify what kind of a key you want to have. How to do that? This is the example. $days is equal to, you are going to call the same method, array, and inside the brackets, you excuse me, you will give the key value pair. So on the left hand side, that would be the key, and this is the operator you are going to use, that is equal and greater than sign. So this is key, and left hand side of this operator is the key, and the right hand side of this operator is the value. So this pair is separated by the comma. So we can see 1 2 3 4 5 key value pairs. Okay. Similarly, second, 1 equals greater than Tuesday. So this one key is mapped to this value, and so on. So how many values will be inside there? there will be a 5 values, similar, exactly similar to what we did in the previous section. Here, the advantage is if you want to have some other value here as a key, so you can have, you need not choose to have 0, you can have any key that you want. This is an example. Let us say this is the example. You want to store the forecast. Let us say this is sales forecast or whatever forecast or production forecast. You want to store the forecast by day wise, right? Monday, what is the forecast? Tuesday, what is the forecast? And Wednesday, what is the forecast? So if your data is in that kind of a structure, this kind of a array declaration is very useful. How to do that? Dollar forecast is equal to array inside the bracket. Now my key is a string Monday. MON is my string and value is 40. On Monday, I have a forecast, sales forecast or whatever forecast is 40. Similarly, on Tuesday, 47, Wednesday, 52, and so on. How this will be stored in the PHP side is like I have keys like this. Monday is mapped to a value of 40. Tuesday is mapped to a value of 47. Wednesday is mapped to value of 52 and so on. So this is how the dollar forecast will store the all the key value pairs. And if you want to see the output, how to do that? Echo dollar forecast, and you will use the key. Earlier, when it was a integer key, then you just said 0. So if there is any value at 0, it will display. Here, you will give the key value. So you know what is the key structure. Forecast inside the square bracket, you will give that key. When you say Tuesday, in Tuesday, what is told? 47. 47 will be, it will give come as the output. And for this dollar forecast, THU is mapped to 40. It outputs 40. Multi-dimensional arrays. Okay. Here in PHP, similar to other language, we can create a multi-dimensional array also. How to create a multi-dimensional array? Dollar month is a multi-dimensional array is equal to array, and you have the bracket. Inside that bracket, you will have again you will be calling the array. Okay. So if you see this, this is a 2 by 2 array. Like we have number of rows are 1, 2, 3, 4. These represents the number of rows and these represents the number of columns. So what I have in this array is each row. Okay. Here you did not you did not specify the what is the key. So all these are values. So how this would be mapped is this is 0, 1, 2, 3. That is the rows. 0th row, 1, 2, 3. Those are the keys that is given to the rows. And for the columns, this is 0 and this is 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, and so on. If I want to check the, if I want to get this particular value, what key I should give? This is 0, 1, 2, that is the row, and 0, 1, 2, 3. So this would be 2 comma 3. The key is 2 comma 3, which will get the access the value of Thursday. Here is the example. Echo dollar month. First key is 0, second key is 3. So this is a representational of a row. This is a representational of the column. So here instead of a row and column, you can say this is one dimension and this is the second dimension. If you have non-sequential keys, then you have to first you will go by this dimension and then you will go by this dimension. So how to get this value? This is the 0 key and 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the third key. The output is THU, Thursday. So you can see here the same representation. This is the month. This is how it will get stored inside. I have the 0th key, and this is the second dimensional key. Okay, first dimensional key, second dimensional key. Second dimensional keys goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0 and 3. In if I give a key value as a 0 and 3, I will get the value of Thursday. That is what it is here. This is another example, 3 comma 2. It will come to this dimension 3, and then it will go to this particular dimension, that is 2. Or you can just, for simplicity, you can think it as a row and the column. Some more examples are there. Here an empty array is created. $cart is equal to array with a empty brackets, semicolon. It will create an empty array. And then what you are doing is $cart empty square brackets. I told you empty square brackets will take you to the next available index, next available key. What is the next available key? It is the 0th position. So in the 0th position, what you are doing, I am assigning another array to that. So this is already an array. I am accessing the 0th element because it is empty. At 0th element, I am 0th element or key, I am assigning another array. So this is the definition of an array. Array which has 1, 2, and 3 key value pairs. And what are the key? Key is ID. ID is 37. For ID key is mapped to value 37. Title key is mapped to this particular text. Quantity key is mapped to value of 1. Similarly, one more statement, $cart empty square brackets. Where it will point? It will point to the next empty available location. That is 0 is already having some data. So this will point to the first location, that is the key 1, that is here key 1. And ID 345, title, quantity 1, and this will point to the next location, next available location, that is the third row, array ID 63, title, and quantity is 1. So if you see how it is stored, it would be like that. Because I did not specify the key for the first dimension, by default it will take as a 0, 1, 2. Okay, so this is 0 index, this is 1, this is 2. In a 0, I have assigned another array with ID 37, title as some string, quantity as 1. So if I want to access any of this, I have to specify this key plus this key. Suppose if I say, for example, 2 and key, if I give the key as $cart, first square bracket 2, second square bracket title, it will come here 2 and title, it will give that starry night. That is the output that will give. So this is an example of how we can iterate through the different elements. First one is the while loop. I have set the $I value as 0. This is a variable. While $I is less than count $days. So in $days, what is the count? We have 5 values there. So the value it will give get this count method will get is 5. 0 is less than 5. True. Echo $days, and the index is, the key is 0. What is at location, first location, that is Monday, MON. MON will be concatenated with the break. This is echo outputs it to the browser. Then we increment I value, I will become 1. So it will keep on doing this, outputting this values, MON, TU, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Once it reaches the Friday, it's when the I value is 4. Okay, 4 is less than 5, so it will point to the last, because we started with a 0. It will print that. Then value will become, I will become 5. 5 less than 5 is false, and this will come out of this particular loop. Similarly, this is the using the do while I is equal to 0. Here my assumption is I have some content. at first location, because we know we have 5 values, we can use like this also. Okay, and if let us say if there is no value, in case of a PHP, what it will do is it will give a null value. For loop I is equal to 0, I less than count of the array I plus plus, and inside the loop you are going to do echoing of that particular day and along with the break, so that it will go to the next line. The challenge of using a classic loop structure is that when you have non-sequential integer keys, that is an associative array, you can't write simple loop that uses the $I plus plus construct to address the dynamic nature of such arrays. You have to use the iterators to move through such an array. So since PHP supports a non-sequential arrays, right? The data in the array is not stored in a sequence. For example, whatever the days of the week, it is stored with a sequential, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how you keep on incrementing the key or the index, and that is how you got the next value. But if it is a non-sequential, there is no sequence. How to do that is we have to have some kind of a iterator. So we have to have a iterator which will iterate through the complete array. How to do that? For each, iterating through the values. For each is the one we can have the iterator, and using that iterator we can go through the next values. Now what will happen? For each dollar forecast. So in our example, dollar forecast was the, I will show you that. This is a non-sequential. For I have Monday 40, Tuesday 47, so on. So in this particular example, dollar forecast, okay, for each dollar forecast as a value. So what this will do is it will create a iterator, and it will iterate through each value. When this executed for the first time, it will get the first value, whatever is the first value. There it was for Monday, it was I think 47. That 47 value will be stored in this. When we say dollar forecast as dollar value, 47 will be stored in this variable, and inside the loop what we are doing, we are displaying that echo that value, concatenate with the a break. So 47, 41, whatever the values, they will be displayed one by one, and this will loop until the last element. Once the last element is done, it will automatically come out of the loop. Here for each iterating through the values and the keys. In this particular example, we iterated through the only values. In this example, we iterate through the values as well as the keys. So you can see for each dollar forecast is the array, right? Array, non-sequential array, as dollar key with this operator equal greater than sign dollar value. Once first time when it gets executed, this dollar key will get a value of MON, that is the first key, and this will get a value of 47. When you come here inside, you are outputting this, what you are outputting, a string day dot dollar key, day MON concatenated. It will show day dot MON equals 47. So dots, you remember, this is for the concatenation. How on the browser, how it will be shown, day dot MON is equal to 47, day dot TUE is equal to 41, and so on. Whatever the values are, they will be printed. Adding to an array. Okay, adding to an array, we'll see in the next class. Also I will include some program examples so that you can see whatever I have explained so far. We will see with the different examples. Maybe we'll take these examples and we will execute.